Bring our meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside Park in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, February 6, 2025, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session meeting, which has now just ended. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting for publication in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 3, 2025. Notice of the meeting of the governing body also has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Amabile.
Here.
Councilmember Condos.
Here.
Councilmember Connor.
Here.
Councilmember Kraft.
Here.
Councilmember Rotunda.
Here.
Council President Wilk.
Here.
Mayor Peterson.
Here.
Thank you.
Let us all rise together for a moment of silence to be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is a motion for approval of the minutes. Those are the minutes of January 23rd, 2025, a work session, January 23rd, 2025, a regular meeting. Any corrections, additions from council, or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft.
I'll second it.
Second by Council President Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Council President Wilk.
Yes.
Councilmember Amabile.
Yes.
Councilmember Condos.
I'll abstain, I was absent that day.
Councilmember Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda.
Yes.
Thank you.
The next reference is an amendment to an ordinance which had previously come up for first reading. It's ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance of the Borough of Seaside Park, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 200 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled Development Regulations to regulate the placement of backup electric generators within a side yard setback. And as per the discussion at the work session, in accordance with recommendations through the building department, which were also considered with a recommendation as well from our planning board, this entails an amendment to the ordinance as contemplated and had first reading, and as such, what is on the agenda is Resolution 2025-76 that amends the ordinance prior to its final adoption. If passed by the governing body, that would entail a hearing for second reading of the ordinance on February 20th, 2025. Any other questions, comments from council, or do we have a motion on the resolution amending the ordinance?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Council President Wilk.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Rotunda. Roll call.
Council President Wilk.
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda.
Yes.
Councilmember Amabile.
Yes.
Councilmember Condos.
Yes.
Councilmember Connor.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Thank you.
And next is final reading and adoption. It's ordinance 2025-02, an ordinance of the Borough of Seaside Park, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending section 200-11 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park, entitled Application and Review Fees Escrow Deposits, to increase review fee escrow deposits. Specifically, again, as per a great deal of work that had been ongoing through the past year and input as well from the committee to the planning board, and the planning board in turn to the mayor and council. And this is final reading of that ordinance. I don't know, Council President Wilk is our liaison and a member of the planning board, and this study entailed a review process with most, if not all, of the other towns in Ocean County, in particular, and other areas, and our particular escrow deposit fees were among the lowest and it appeared to be the lowest in certain instances. So this has those fees more commensurate with those services rendered.
Swear that, Mayor.
Any other questions, comments from council? If not, we'll go into the audience as this is a final reading and a hearing, ordinance 2025-02. If anyone has any comments, if they could come forward give their name and address into the mic. Hearing none, I would close the public portion. I would entertain a motion from council.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Council President Wilk,
Second.
second by Councilmember Condos. Roll call.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda.
Yes.
Thank you.
The next is first reading and introduction. It's ordinance 2025-03, an ordinance of the Borough of Seaside Park, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 135-7 of the Code of the Borough of Seaside Park entitled Permits Required for Use of Beach Rates. And this entailed in the review process for this year the cleanup, if you will, of adoption of the rates commensurate with that which were in place and incorporated in last year's beach operation. Any other questions, comments from council, or this being a first reading, is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Councilmember Connor,
Second.
second by Councilmember Condos. Roll call.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next are payments of claims, 22577, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth in the check register bill list for the period January 24th to February 6, 2025. Any comments, questions from council, or if not, a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilmember Condos,
Second.
second by Councilmember Kraft. Roll call.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
I abstain. I did not see the bill list.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Council President Wilk.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next are the resolutions. I'll read in summary fashion. 22578, extending the date for adoption of the 2025 budget per the State of New Jersey's current extensions of the 2025 municipal budget deadline. This has been routine for most, if not all, municipalities in the state for many years, and Division of Local Government Services has suggested a resolution for that effect, which they hadn't in the past. So all the towns, in fact, are adopting same, including ours if it's favorably acted upon. 79, authorizing an employment agreement with our Public Works Supervisor. Number 80, authorizing an employment agreement with the Seaside Parks Water Superintendent. 81, awarding a contract to Spatial Data Logic. 82, authorizing the sale of surplus property no longer needed for public use on the online auction website. 83, confirming the appointment of a new member of the Borough of Seaside Parks Environmental Advisory Committee, who is here with us this evening, and that is Michael Spadafino, and we certainly thank him for volunteering for his service and wish him well. And 84, approving the designated calendar year 2025 amusement games license applications. 85, authorizing the municipal recycling coordinators to submit the 2024 recycling tonnage grant application to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Agency. 86, resolution of the borough from the Borough Council appointing Bonnie Peterson as municipal prosecutor of the Borough of Seaside Park. 87, resolution also from the council appointing Stephen Zabarski, Esquire, Barry Stiver, Esquire, Robert Adams, Esquire, as alternate prosecutors of the Borough of Seaside Park. 88, resolution of the Borough Council appointing Gregory P. McGuckin Esquire, Jerry J. Dasty Esquire, Martin Buckley Esquire, Kelsey McGuckin Anthony Esquire, Patrick Varga Esquire as alternate prosecutors of the Borough of Seaside Park. 89, awarding a contract to Black Rock Enterprises LLC for fiscal year 2024 MJ DOT Municipal Aid Program roadway improvements to Stockton Avenue. 90, awarding a contract to Down to Earth Landscaping for 13th Avenue softball field drainage improvements. 91, appointing special law enforcement officers, SLEO trainees for the Borough of Seaside Park. 92, memorializing the Borough of Seaside Park's commitment to pursue a Bayfront fair share agreement with the County of Ocean for future drainage improvements as per the discussion at the work session. And 93, authorizing Remington and Vernick engineers to prepare an NJIB, that's New Jersey IBank, SFY 2026 Clean Water SRF application for the procurement of municipal stormwater maintenance equipment. Any questions, comments from council on any resolutions?
I have a few comments, Mayor.
Yes.
On Resolution 78, the dates that the state has given us is that the annual financial statement is now March 7th. The budget that gets presented to the governing body is February 28th. The budget introduction is March 31st. And the adoption, and these are the latest dates that can be done. The adoption date is April 30th. In regard to the Stockton Avenue improvement, Resolution 89, the total bid is $389,818. We have received a NJDOT grant for the sum of $303,255. So the town is on the hook to pay $86,563. For the down-to-earth landscaping, the softball field drainage, that price is $176,146, and we do have a $75,000 grant which reduces that amount. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Bill. Any other questions, comments from council on any resolutions? Hearing none, it's our practice, though it's not required by law, we do allow comments on any resolutions before adoption. If anyone has a comment on any resolution, if they wish to come forward, give their name and address in the record. Yes, that is it? Can't see.
Day Herring, 21 I Street. I missed out on the ordinance 2025-01 about the 5-foot setback on a generator or air conditioner on the side. I'm especially wondering about that because I have that empty lot next to my house, and they've staked it, and I was informed that they only have to have a 5-foot setback from the side. So what happens then as far as a generator or air conditioning unit? It's only
Mayor,
gonna
would
be
you like
set
me to
back
answer that?
five
Yes,
foot,
yes,
right?
I'll turn that over to Council President Wilk.
It would have to meet the requirement of the code. If there's not 5 feet, there's not enough room in the side yard setback, it would have to go elsewhere on the property.
Okay.
Elsewhere, meaning the backyard, it could
Okay.
possibly go up on the roof.
Okay.
There's other locations, but I'm just saying, it would have to meet the requirements.
Okay,
So it would not be placed, if it doesn't meet the requirements, not be placed in the side yard setback.
right, because it's only a 5-foot setback from what
Correct.
I was told. The other question I have is about 2025-81, the spatial data logic. What is that for? I glanced at the information. Is this something that members of the town or the workers have to deal with, or what is this?
SDLs is the program that we use in the code and construction office to monitor permits, to do rental inspections. And it is accessible to the public as well through our website if you want to look up certain properties that have permits.
Okay, so it's basically for code office.
Yes, code and construction.
Okay.
And the public.
It's municipal wide.
I'm sorry, it's municipal.
It says municipal wide.
Yeah, so it's municipal wide, so it's code
Covers
and
my-
construction office use it and the public can access it through our website.
Okay, so it's a program that you're using, not saying, you know, you and you have to do this because you're employees of the town.
No, it's a program we've been using probably now, this is probably our 4th year using the program.
Okay.
It's really helped to automate our code and construction office and looking up permits and
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Fay. Any other comments on resolutions? Yes, Mike?
Is this a yearly fee?
it's a big one.
Yeah.
Mike Spadafino, 59th Avenue. On the ball field landscaping project, we knew because of the presentation what the plan was to do for that $1 million plus. Is there any way of knowing the depth of what they're actually going to do for the 176,000? What is it? Is there some way for us to be made aware of what the landscapers are going to actually do this time?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the bid is public information, so it's a scaled down version of what we were applying to Green Acres for. And it's
Right.
mainly just to address the drainage problem.
Okay.
Infield drainage
All right, so
in the backstop.
they're just going to make some changes so that things flow better. They're not going to put in piping, rip the whole thing up, because for 176,000, they
Yeah,
can't do
it's a much
that.
scaled down version of what we initially proposed.
Okay, which is going to, no new dugouts, no new fences.
It's just
There's
the
a backup, I think
There's a new
New backstop.
There's a backstop.
backstop. It's not-
Fencing around the
That's,
field
yeah,
will be
that's
new,
just
but
one piece, that's fine.
the perimeter fencing is not changing.
Okay, I was just wondering if there was,
It's
is there any way to see
scaled
the
back.
plan? If I come by or something to see, or
Yeah,
somebody
we
can
have-
make me aware of what they're actually gonna do? Just curious. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments on resolutions? Yes, Michelle?
Michelle Miller, 1500 Lake Avenue. The budget for the baseball field is part of the recreation grant that we heard about last meeting. That's what's being applied to this, or?
This is a grant that we won last year. This is a 2024 grant that we were awarded. The one that we applied for in 2025, which the deadline was just last Friday, so they haven't announced those awards yet. That would be for the Park Central.
Thank you.
Any other comments on resolutions? Yes, Chuck?
Chuck Appleby, 215 10th Avenue. Regarding 2025-81, it's around $25,000. Is that an annual fee, or is that every few years?
Anything.
It's
An
a
annual
yearly
fee, so it's a substantial amount of money for every year if we're going to be doing this with this company, which we have been, I assume. And then we paid initially a larger amount, probably, when we started. And this includes training, I assume, and things for the new employees, or?
Training, website hosting,
All that
server
stuff.
hosting.
Okay, so my 2 cents are this, and I probably get yelled at by some people, but if we lived in a town with commercial businesses, like a factory or something, they can pay their taxes and stuff, and we would be getting money from that. They'd probably be contributing maybe to the fire department and things like that, and we would be getting things that they might need, heavier roads, they contribute to those things. In Seaside Park, our number one business has always been rental properties. It's a huge business. It's the biggest one. It has the largest amount of money that comes into the town, probably out of anything. And in other towns, they charge landlords an annual fee. It's not that great, but it's enough. It's per unit, say $100. and it goes to pay for these things. And they pay for it because it's something that it's used for those inspections and keeping track and making sure the fire inspections are done. Plus, you can kick it up a notch and make sure every rental has at least an inspection every 2 years, which Manchester just did, which I think is a good thing. Because otherwise, you have somebody for 10 years, they might never get an inspection on the property or rental. So these software systems are very good for all that, but I think it's a tool that landlords should be paying for. It's part of their business. It's something that we need in a town like this, and other towns have adopted these things. And it also has where you can upload, every year you have to upload your insurance on the property, so the town has a copy of the insurance and making sure that it's appropriate with the proper levels. And they monitor the zoning too, so you have pre-existing 2 families or whatever, and then you don't have people just sneaking in saying, I have a new unit or something like that. So there's a checks and balance all the time with a software like that. But I really think that that cost should be borne by the landlords, the people that are renting, because that's the majority of the effort that goes into needing that system on an annual basis. So whatever the cost would be, nothing more, nothing less, but it would be something that they should be paying. Thanks.
Thank you, Chuck.
Chuck, we do, everything you mentioned, we do keep track of in that software program.
No, I know it doesn't, yeah.
I'm just saying, that's why we have it. We do the inspections every year, the insurance, that's all logged in every year.
And we charge for
I don't
rental
rent a house in
inspections.
town.
No, I'm just answering the questions, just to
Yeah, no.
clarify that everything you spoke about is exactly what we do right now.
And I'm paying to monitor that.
We charge a rental inspection every year
For
to,
fire inspections.
No, we do rental
we
inspections.
do rental
Yeah,
inspections.
It's not as significant to cover like this whole software.
But not
Yeah,
all
you-
the things are for
The
rental.
software is used for construction permits. You can go in,
I venture to say the majority of it is for rental. The effort. Mike?
Any other comments on resolutions? Hearing none, I'll close the public portion, and I'd entertain a motion from council as a consent agenda.
I'll make that.
Motion by Council President Wilk,
Second.
second by Councilmember Rotunda. Roll call.
Council President Wilk,
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yeah.
Councilmember Condos,
Yes.
Councilmember Connor,
Yes.
Councilmember Kraft.
Yes.
Thank you.
That concludes the resolution agenda and the written agendas. Anyone else on council have any other items at this time? I know I have 3 different announcements, one of which entails, and I want to make sure everyone is aware of it, I think everyone knew there originally had been contemplated a fundraising event even this weekend, and that was for the benefit of Triborough First Aid, the Seaside Park Volunteer Fire Department, as well as the Seaside Heights Fire Department, all to be held at Triborough, and that has been rescheduled. It's scheduled now to take place at Triborough, again, to benefit all of those organizations, and it's to be held on Thursday, or strike that, on Saturday, March 29th. So everyone make a mental note or mark their calendars, and that's obviously going to many good causes and organizations who work together and donate hundreds and thousands of hours of volunteer services to each and every one of us. The first aid of our area, Triborough itself, and certainly the Seaside Park Volunteer Fire Company, as well as Seaside Heights Volunteer Fire Company. So that's Saturday, March 29th.
Is there a time on that, Mayor?
I believe that is still, it's about to be published, but it,
Tickets printed up with
the tickets are just now being printed, I'm
Do you
told.
have a time?
I don't have an exact time, but usually it's around 6 or so.
They've usually been from 5:36, yes, it's an evening event, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Spaghetti dinner.
spaghetti dinner. Yes.
And
Maple, sausage,
The other event is a fundraiser for Triborough, which I have an announcement, and this will be a daytime event. And the thought was, and this year will mark the 40th anniversary, the 40th time that the Clean Ocean Action Organization has conducted beach sweeps, pickup of the beaches all up and down the New Jersey coast. And I know Seaside Park and La Valette are two of the original towns that have participated in those beach sweeps all those 40 years. This year's first beach sweep is April 12th. And certainly everyone is welcome, and especially sometimes the school scouting groups and school groups, and they have those with better backs, I think, than the rest of us. But that being said, we thank all those who have participated and will participate. I know Clean Ocean Action is going to have some special acknowledgments as well for that organization and those that have been there over the years. And parenthetically, we certainly thank Mike Spadafino and his wife, and they were helped, and every member of the council literally has been there, if not this last year, but over the years, and it's an event that takes place rain or hopefully it'll be good weather, but sometimes the April one's a bit cold. But where I'm going with that, the idea, and those in Triborough are having a lunchtime fundraiser cookout, and it's going to be held, the pickup event starts in the morning for those who can spare as many hours as you can donate. It's 9 to end around 12 noon. And Triborough is going to have a lunchtime cookout beginning at 12 noon, and that's a benefit for Triborough. So they're trying to capitalize, and hopefully we'll have some different groups in town, some of the scouts. I know we've had good turnouts from Central Regional High School. We get the Honor Society, the surf clubs of 3 high schools always come, and the environmental clubs, and hopefully that will dovetail into getting a nice crowd and some fundraising for Triborough. So I know they're working on that now, and they're going to have some announcements, but they're looking for that day, Saturday, April 12th, at 12 noon for their fundraiser.
Mayor?
Yes.
Since you're making announcements of things, did you have the one about the Whale Day on February 16th? You want me to?
Yeah, I can absolutely take
So, it's Sunday, February 16th at 1 p.m. by Funtown Beach, so just like north of the Sawmill, celebrating the Whale Day. We'll have Assemblyman Paul Canitra there, Trish DeVoe, who's a resident in Seaside Heights, who's been extremely active in the opposition of the offshore wind industrialization. So they're doing a Celebrate World Whale Day, and I believe the mayor, you're actually speaking at that event as well. So they'll be having refreshments at the Sawmill afterwards, but it's 1 p.m. February 16th.
Thank you, Gina. And the other announcement that I have, and I was remiss, and I usually would put it on the agenda, but I wanted to announce an appointment of a new member to the Citizens Advisory Committee for Bayfront Issues, and that is John Wirch. And he had volunteered, and as of those that know, he helped put together a series of informational get-togethers at the Seaside Park Yacht Club just this last summer. And also, he wanted to serve in one of those functions as a liaison to the yacht club, because they are a very necessary player or party to what goes on in terms of bayfront planning. They have, obviously, their entrance and egress area will be affected in terms of the plans as the Seaside Park proceeds, and that has to be done in coordination and conjunction with the yacht club itself, which is, I dare to say, the biggest property owner along the bayfront. So that is one of his areas of expertise, but obviously he brings to the table a lot of other talents, as do all the members of the Bayfront Advisory Group. There's a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different backgrounds that come up with, all of whom come up with a number of different recommendations and research in various topics, which is ongoing. So John Wirch had volunteered to serve on the committee, and he's appointed, and among his roles will be a liaison naturally to the art club itself. Anything else from council? Any other announcements? If not, we'll go into the audience if there's any public comments, if anyone has them, if they could give their name and address into the record. And Michelle?
Michelle Miller, 1500 Lake Avenue. I'm speaking to you as a member of the Board of Ed. We did send the council a letter saying that we were like you to have a conversation with us about buying the school. It's not in use. It's a non-functioning school, and it needs some help. We have not gotten a response at all.
Gina, sure.
I mean, we actually did meet about it, and I think a letter will be coming to the board and to Dr. Gleason with the intent for us to meet to go through some of the things that we discussed about it.
Thank you. Please consider.
Any other public comments? Yes, Edie?
Edie Klein, 48 11th Avenue. I wonder if you could please give us an update on the status of well 11?
The status of well 11.
You know, up
Leave
on
that-
Park Central.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what well it is. I don't think there's any change that I know of to report at this time. The process is still being, going through the process, getting permit, unless I'm,
Oh, okay, correct.
well, I don't think there's any change since the last
Okay.
report.
Just thought I'd ask. Thank you.
It's a snail's pace, you know, as
Yeah, well,
all these
yeah,
agencies,
goes
but I'm
without
just
saying.
telling you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments on work on, yes, Mike?
Mike Spadafino, I think it's 59th Avenue. I have two questions. I just happened to be, like, quickly listening to Channel 12, and they started talking about the beach replenishment through Seaside Park. Where are we on that? I only caught part of it.
We're not part of it.
We're not,
No.
they said on the news, though, they said
Jim
Seaside
Murdoch
Heights.
mentioned Seaside Park, but
They did, man.
we had sent the letter, we are not participating, we don't want them on our property.
We're not paying for any sand.
There's a small section in the north part of Funtown Beach that is actually in Seaside Park that they need to put some sand on to taper into Seaside Heights. That's it.
Okay, because I thought I heard, they did say it, no, they did say it.
No, they did.
You did
No,
say
they
it.
did. You heard right, Mike.
Yeah. And the other question is, I have some friends that are in South Seaside Park, and since they knew I was going to be coming to the council meeting, they said, could you please ask them if there's any report or any status on the incorporation of South Seaside Park into Seaside Park? Because they said, we don't hear anything, we don't know anything. What can I tell them?
A, that's pending litigation to be discussed in executive session. My understanding is it's still pending cert by the Supreme Court, has not. The Berkeley Township, as I understand, took an appeal. And then the appellate division spoke, and now they're seeking certification in the Supreme Court.
Oh, really?
That's procedurally what's happening. So when the Supreme Court gives an answer as to whether they accept certification, meaning they will hear the matter, or they deny certification, which means that's the end of the line probably in terms of going to court, then it's up to Berkeley Township to proceed under the statute, come to us, and then we'll proceed accordingly.
Okay,
But procedurally, that's what's going on.
I'll try to remember all that.
Pending in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But not being heard by them yet.
Any other, yes, Mike?
Hi, Mike Giuliano, 20 Pearl Street, long-term member of the Board of Adjustment and now the Planning Board, Joint Land Use Board since 2013, and before that. I just came up here, I want to thank the board for their response to accepting the recommendations that the Planning Board sends over for amendments to Chapter 200. As Council President Wilk mentioned, these recommendations come from either the zoning office, which, believe it or not, brings up something new, which we thought we've heard everything, or through applications where we thought we've heard anything. So this council has been very responsive, and on this agenda, it's ordinance 2501 and 2502. So the planning board, who are all volunteers and don't always make a friend of everybody in town based on review of applications, we do appreciate that, and we do have 2 members of the planning board who attend meetings, who I also want to compliment, because there's a lot of towns where the mayor and the council representative don't come to the planning board meetings. So in this borough, they do. So thank you for that. Board really appreciates that response. The other thing I want to mention is, having dealt with a lot of administrations here, said been on the board for 20 years, dealing with Administrator Crone and Clerk Jankowski is one refreshing of experience that I've had. I mean, the availability, responsiveness, and attitude is just exceptional. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Yes, Chuck?
Keep it on a good note now, Brendan, on a good note.
Oh, well.
Chuck Appleby, 257. So, I'm driving along the bay. 30 years ago, the dredge spoils from the yacht club were put down at our marina down there. It's a big pile. They have a big pile down there now. Why can't they get rid of that? I've managed soils my whole career, and they get contaminated. Every year, the levels that you have that you can cost more to dispose of, the levels get harder and harder to meet, lower and lower on regulation, and it becomes more costly to dispose of. And that soil down there from a marina base, a storm can spread that around and cause us to have a cleanup. And once you start sampling, if we ever do, which one day they will down there, you'll find stuff. So there is a big pile of dredge spoils down there, and I think it should be paid for and disposed of myself.
They're
After
doing that.
30 years. What was that?
They're doing that.
No, at the marina, our marina, that we own, the taxpayers own. We have a huge pile of soil that was dumped there 30 years ago from the yacht club. And I think that's their liability, so not mine. And as far as the school goes, I was on the school board when we closed it, about wanting to give it to the town and stuff. It needed a roof work 20 years ago, so this work has been piling up for a lot of years, and no substantial improvements, of course, have been done because of the cost. I would just ask that the town and the school board work together. For the taxpayers of Seaside Park, where should the money come from to do any repairs and things? It might be more appropriate that the funds come from the school budget rather than the town budget when that has to be made. So prior to making that decision of taking the property, just where it would be best to do that, I'm in favor of keeping the property for the town, myself, because we'd never be able to buy property in the future, talking 100 years from now. And I think it would be an asset to the town to utilize. We did have the YMCA wanted to come in. I had them all ready to come in. I think that would be a great thing to pursue again. It's all negotiation. But I do think that the best financial decision of who pays for those improvements, whether it's out of the school budget, or if there might be money from the state or something to help, all that type of thing. I think it's worth looking at. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck.
Any other public comments? Hearing none, I would close the public portion, and I'd entertain a motion from council for adjournment unless there's anything further.
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft,
I'll second it, Mayor.
second by Councilmember Connor. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Connor?
Yes.
Councilmember Amador?
Well,
Councilmember Condos?
Yes.
Councilmember Rotunda?
Yes.
Council President Wilk? Yes. Thank you.
And thank everyone for coming out this evening. Have a good night.
Thanks.